Staring down a reading list of 8 thick novels requires a massive commitment of your free time. That is the exact barrier readers hit when they look at the Wait For You series. Written by Jennifer L. Armentrout under her pen name Lynn, these books track a loose network of friends navigating college and their early 20s. Unlike her massive paranormal and fantasy properties, this series is entirely grounded in reality. These are new adult contemporary romances that deal heavily with trauma, emotional neglect, and the slow process of healing. Readers see the potential for a high emotional payoff, but they hesitate. Buying and reading 7 full-length books just to understand the plot of Book 8 is an expensive gamble. Viewing this series as a rigid 8-step marathon creates immediate purchasing anxiety. The sheer volume of pages stops people from ever picking up the first installment.
Publishing often packages books to look like a single, continuous narrative, a false monolith. This chart shows exactly why that packaging is intimidating, comparing the reading commitment of a single standalone novel against that massive vertical tower of an 8-book series. The required time and money scale up aggressively. But the reality of Wait For You breaks apart that vertical structure. These books are actually a horizontal collection of interconnected, character-driven standalones set in a shared universe. The plot does not follow a strict linear sequence. We are going to deconstruct how these stories are organized. You can bypass the chronological reading order entirely and pinpoint exactly which book to start with. Understanding how these characters link together gives you the deep emotional payoff of the series without forcing you to pay an 8-book price tag. The first approach is the chronological purist path. You start right at the beginning with Avery and Camera in Book 1, Wait For You. The primary benefit of this is continuity. You get to watch a found family knit itself together in real time as secondary friends slowly step into the spotlight in the later books. The trade-off is steep. It requires buying all 8 books, and you risk having to slog through specific romance tropes you might not actually enjoy, simply to maintain timeline accuracy. Inside this chronological path, there is a specific sub-strategy built around Book 2, Trust in Me. Trust in Me covers the exact same timeline, events, and dialogue as Book 1. The only difference is that the story is told strictly from Cameron's point of view instead of Avery's. Reading the exact same plot twice stalls the forward momentum of the series. Unless you are heavily invested in Cameron as a character, the return on your reading investment drops significantly here. To a chronological reading order maximizes your understanding of the overarching world, but it demands a high budget and a high tolerance for repetitive pacing. The alternative approach is the a la carte, or trope cherry picker method. Instead of starting at Book 1, you scan the series and jump straight to the specific romance dynamics that appeal to you right now. If you want a gritty mystery featuring a scarred bartender, you can skip directly to Book 4, Stay With Me. If you prefer a second chance romance dealing with physical recovery and MMA fighters, you jump to Book 8, Fire in You. You spend your money on exactly what you want to read today, offering immediate gratification with zero barrier to entry. The primary trade-off is the loss of narrative secrecy. By jumping ahead, you will encounter passing references that reveal whether earlier couples stayed together. When previous protagonists make cameo appearances in the later books, you also miss out on the accumulated emotional weight those characters carry for longtime readers. Cherry-picking sacrifices long-term world-building in exchange for immediate narrative satisfaction. It completely removes the financial risk for a budget-conscious reader. A massive segment of the audience approaches this series as crossover readers, arriving directly from Armentrout's high fantasy properties, like the Blood and Ash series. If you fall into this group, you will find the exact same character architecture here. The witty banter, the deeply wounded but resilient leads, and the heavy emotional beats translate perfectly. You do have to adjust your pacing expectations. The major climaxes are built around going to therapy, setting firm boundaries, and emotional confessions, rather than car chases or magical battles. The setting is intentionally grounded in off-campus apartments, local bars, and small towns, instead of sprawling fantasy courts. The outward genre dressing of the books changes entirely, but the underlying mechanics of how Armentrout builds her characters remains intact. Let's map out your exact entry point so you know exactly which book to buy first. This flowchart starts with a question. Do you have series FOMO? If missing background details bothers you, take the Yes branch and read chronologically from books 1 to 8.
If you can handle missing inside jokes, follow the no branch, campus or off-campus grit. Taking the campus branch routes you to books 1 through 3. These are built for readers looking for traditional new adult angst, dorm room dynamics, and early college life. Taking the off-campus branch routes you to books 4 through 8. These feature slightly older characters dealing with independent adulthood, darker themes, and rough jobs. Treating the series as a customizable menu rather than a mandatory checklist entirely eliminates the risk of reading fatigue. If you're tight on time or protective of your budget, pick the specific trope you want and ignore the rest guilt-free. If you are a completionist, stick to the chronological release order, but feel fully empowered to skip the POV rehash in Book 2 to keep your momentum going. The lasting value of Lynn's universe comes from the compassionate way these characters process grief and learn to trust each other. A successful reading experience means investing your money exactly where the story matches your current mood, leaving the heavy pressure of series completionism entirely behind.